You're listening to Up the Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello and welcome to the Up the Turnpike Postgame show, baby. What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary, joined as always by Mitch Anderson. Holy shit, buddy. Wow, what a game from the New York Islanders. It started out awesome, then was not so awesome, and then it was really exciting there at the end. Yeah, I'm doing well after they finally pulled it off. I was telling you right before we hit the record, setting up the stream here, that I was getting ready to do a completely different post game and go. They had a great first period, but they didn't get a big enough lead, and they let them hang around. And you blow a game where you probably should have won, and then they completely erased that because of their final minute of this last game. Oh, Mitch, I blew it. You should be able to hear Mitch now. I apologize. You should be able to hear Mitch now. Mitch is very excited. I am very excited as well. But like I was saying, we're getting ready to do a completely different post game.
We were really completely looking for, okay, well, this is going to be, how did they screw this one up? And here we are. They pulled it out of their ass. Thankfully, in the last 2 minutes of the game. Ridiculous stuff. The team was constantly pushing, trying to find something. Were you muting Mitch's French?
Yeah, that's the only acceptable reason that the chat would want Mitch muted, is because he was talking in French.
Fair enough. But they kept on pushing the entire time, and they eventually broke through very quickly twice. So like Matthias is saying, Matthew Schaefer in all caps, hell to the yeah. Holy shit.
It is something special, Mitch. And let's get it started because Matthew Schaefer gets us on the board here first for the New York Islanders. They'd go to an early power play, and Matthew Schaefer 10 seconds in. Beautiful setup right here. Kyle Palmieri ends up giving a nice screen in front too, which you'll see in a second.
Yeah, so they did a really great job of passing that puck around and opening up some space at the top of the key. And as they were saying on the broadcast, I think it was Cal in the second intermission talking about how like Schaefer just creeping in slowly but surely, working his way from basically the blue line to the high slot to almost basically into the slot. Well, maybe not that far in, at least the high slot to risk this one in. And he found an opening just above Merzlikins' pad, just below the glove type of thing, the perfect spot to go to hit that one in. It's just excellent stuff from our rookie. And on the power play, I don't know if we're allowed to do that, score on the power play, but we did it, which is unheard of.
Yeah, after how it previously looked, where they were going 0 for 5 a couple nights ago, pretty nice to see a power play goal. And so efficiently, right? Like you win a face-off, you get it set up, boom, goal. It's easy sometimes.
Yeah, it's just, they overcomplicate things so much when it comes to the power play. It really does. Like, we're so stupid sometimes how they overcomplicate it for themselves. But here we are, we're up 1 goal, only like 6 minutes into the game. And they, to me, I thought they never really let up in that first period. They really dominated the first period. It wasn't even funny. And then I thought, like, if this is going to be the case on a team who just played a second, it's their second leg of a back-to-back. Holy shit, this could be a good one for us.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. And the Islanders outshot them 18-3 in the first period. Mitch, I'm not going to lie to you. I said it at the time, and you can even go back into the Discord before the first goal. I was saying, is this going to be a game where the Islanders get goal lead by Merzlikins? But towards the end of the period, they kept the foot on the gas, but they didn't get that extra goal, and I was a touch worried about that coming back to bite them.
Yeah, man, like they keep looking for that backdoor tap in, and I get it. When it's there, it's great, but they force it too much where they're putting it in a position or trying to put it in a position that just, it's not available, or the chance of conversion is a lot lower than they think it is. Instead of just taking the shot, you might not beat the goal. You got to probably be 50% chance one-on-one in that situation, but like they try to get it into what they think is 100% chance of scoring, but it just doesn't work out because not as clear cut as they think it is in that situation. So they give up a good opportunity for something that isn't really there. And that happens so many times in this game. And it's been happening for weeks now. It's just obviously something that the coaches are telling them to do. Look for the backdoor tap in. Like, no, duh. We've all played NHL. We've all played NHL. Not NHL in real life, but NHL, the video game. And that's all you're doing is looking for the backdoor tap in. They're just trying to do the same thing all the time.
100%. So first period, they lead 1-0. They're up 18-3 in shots. Pretty dominant start to this game. In the second, Columbus, the light switch started to go on. They would have 14 shots in the second period. They began to wake up a little bit. And then towards the end of the period, Miles Wood ends up scoring a goal here.
Yeah, I missed this one because I was walking the dog. It's evening here. But the big problem, I think, for the Islanders in this period was just penalty trouble. And that just seems like they just threw it towards the net and hoped to God something happened.
Yeah, and it did, right? Like, just eventually you put enough things towards the front of the net and something's going to happen.
Yeah, that's just it. And we gave them too many opportunities. Like, maybe Schaefer's got to gap up a little bit more there. I can't really tell how close he is just with the visualization there, but I don't think like, oh, Schaefer needed to, if he gapped up, this goal doesn't happen. They're going to get shots towards the net. That's going to happen. Probably 20 on it at any given night. You just got to make sure that it's not getting through, kind of thing. That's up to the defense and the goalie.
Yeah, no, 100%. And not one where you're going, Dave Ritchie has to come up with that. I don't think there's really anything you could do. If anything, maybe Mayfield could have had better positioning down low in front, but that's really the only critique. But again, it kind of goes back to you were dominating them in the first. Mm-hmm. You only had that 1-goal lead. There were even opportunities in the beginning of the second period. I know that they took a bunch of penalties. Barzal, D'Angelo, Duclair took penalties in the second period, but it's not like they were outshot 14-2. They had 10 shots of their own, just couldn't get anything to go.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's too many times, not too many, it's twice now, really, where they have a really good first period and they come flat out. They come out flat in the second period, which is just annoying. How can you, I understand losing momentum with a break, but you just like completely lose the sense of how you're going to play the game. And I get that the other team has a say in that, right? They come out and play a different game because they don't want to be dominated like it was before. But to have a completely different reset, or how do I want to say that? Like a flip of the board, a paradigm shift in terms of the momentum of the game like that, it doesn't sit right with me.
No. Yeah, I'm with you on that. It definitely doesn't sit right. And, they had an opportunity to kind of put this game away and they weren't able to do that. And Columbus hangs around. They end up tying it and going into the third period. Now it's a 1-1 game. Yeah,
exactly. Which is not great, but it's 1 goal, right? Like hockey games are usually decided 3-2. They're probably going to score 2 goals in the game. And of course it ends 3-2. That's a typical hockey score. So, allowing a goal, whatever, if it's going to happen this way, okay, fine. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. You're not going to be like, oh, God damn it. Do they stop that kind of bleeding in their play so they don't allow a second or even a third goal?
Yeah, absolutely. Into the third period we go. Unfortunately, that next goal would be from Columbus as Matejchuk gets his 3rd of the year.
Yeah, this kind of a mess up on the blue line, of the offensive blue line for us, and then throws it towards the net. We don't read Matejchuk, cutting across the ice in the chaos. It's not the big. It's not a big deal. It's a good goal for them. It well worked, right? Like Tony kind of lays off and let Matejchuk go by, which kind of stinks. But if we're relying on Tony DeAngelo to be an outstanding defensive defenseman,
ain't happening.
That's not going to happen. Yeah, that's not fair to him. That's just not his game, type of thing. These mistakes are going to happen. You got to live with them. Can we outscore those mistakes? And thankfully we did.
Tonight they did, yeah. So down 2-1, that was at the 12:10 mark. Just a couple minutes later at 15:38, Alex Romanov goes off for tripping. Not going to lie to you, at that, I was like, okay, like this feels like this is going to be all she wrote for tonight.
Yeah.
But that power play wouldn't last very long for Columbus because Dmitry Voronkov would take an interference penalty. So you get a little 4-on-4. Islanders would end with a power play. Mitch, I don't know if you noticed this at first with the power play when there's like 35 seconds or so, let's call it.
Yeah.
They didn't have 5 guys on the ice.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't know how many. They didn't realize that it was a power play. Lee finally gets over the boards. The power play expires, and shortly thereafter is when they score.
Yeah, no, that drove me absolutely nuts. Like the no game presence, which kind of speaks to some of the issues we've seen from this team. Like just have no game management skills whatsoever. You're down a goal. You have 40 seconds to take as much advantage as you can to score one, and you can't get that numerical advantage out on the ice. Like how stupid are we to not do that? But we eventually, thankfully, score where we create chaos by continuing to put pressure in the Columbus end. They had no legs in the third period. They had a little bit of a push in the second half of the third, but at this point of the third period, they've got nothing left and they're running on fumes. And then Matthew Schaefer, he's just throwing it on net. He's not, doing this to score. He just throws it on net. It bounces and it catches a defenseman's stick. I think it's Severson, and it bounces over Merzlikins and in.
Yeah, I thought initially it was Anders Lee who tipped it, but it wasn't. So Matthew Schaefer picks up goal number 5, which I don't know if this is good or not, but that leads the NHL for all defensemen, Mitch.
Meh. He's already got 10 points on the year. That's insane.
It was a
score. Or is he 11?
Well, it was 2 tonight, so it might be 11 and 12, or it's either 10 and 12 or 11 and 12.
What is he at here on NHL.com? He's at 10.
Okay, so 10 and 12.
That's insane for a rookie 18-year-old defenseman. Not even just rookie, 18-year-old rookie defenseman.
Yeah, need that clarification on top. So that was at the 18:53 mark. So 1:07 left. It's like, all right, they tied it. All right, they're at worst going to get a point out of this. But Islanders not done yet. They would score once again, and wouldn't you know it, third line doing third line things. Anders Lee, JG Pajot, they each pick up assists. Simon Holmstrom bangs it home.
This is such a good goddamn third line. Probably a good second line on any other team. Maybe I'm pushing that. But they're so goddamn good at pressing the forecheck here and creating something with physicality. That's what happens here with Anders Lee. Maybe could have been called for cross-checking there on whoever 78 is for them. But either way, like it's physical on the player. And the puck jams out to Jean-Gabriel Pajot, and we end up scoring off of it because Simon Holmstrom has some presence of mind of just the puck is loose. I'm pushing it in. First one there. Love it.
Yeah, 78 Severson.
Okay, there you go. Oof, not a good one for Severson.
No, tough one, obviously, for him. But Islanders go up 3-2. They would hold on and win this one 3-2. So it was a game they absolutely should have won.
Yes.
But how they looked in the first period, there should have been a dominant win. It wasn't. They made it a little bit harder than it had to be. But they don't ask you how you get 2 points in the standings. All that matters is that you get the 2 points in the standings, Mitch.
That's right. They got it done. That's all that matters. And by got it done, we're not setting any sort of expectations here for them. And I see a comment here from Rick saying, was that from, no, it wasn't from Rick. Sorry. There was another 500. It was from Nick. Sorry. Nick Canetta. I've been saying this for a little while now. They will play 500 hockey. Trade Lee, Jean-Gabriel Pajot, then full use movement, and the momentum sneaks them into the playoffs. The important part is they're going to play 500 hockey. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Like we win, we lose. It's just trying to manage how we're feeling about these wins and losses as they come through.
Yeah,
great win, but like not changing anything in terms of expectations.
No, not for me either. But I would rather see them go out and win games and win a game like this that they deserve to win. And you're right; they go over 500 now. Did you know there's not a single team in the Eastern Conference under 500?
That's insane. The East is going to be really tough this year.
Absolutely. So we're going to go game stats, box score game. Then we'll go into the questions. We got 134 people hanging out with us. Thanks for hanging for the post-game show. Leave a like if you just hopped in. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe as well. Shots on goal, 39-22 for the Islanders. In this one, another dominant performance in the faceoff dot, 68.1% to 31.9% for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Mitch, just because we're pushing the narrative, we got to find where's JG Pajot. 83.3% in the face-off for JG Pajot. Holy smokes, have a day.
That's the second game in a row where he's over 80% of the face-off dot.
Correct. We are pushing the narratives. JG Pajot is netting a first-round pick at the deadline this year in 2026.
Yeah, let's go, man. 2 first-round picks.
All the first-round picks for JG Pajot. Power play, Islanders went 50%, 1 for 2. And the penalty kill was good. They killed all 4 penalties that they took. 8 penalty minutes to the Columbus Blue Jackets 4. Hits, Columbus had a lot more, 26-10. Block shots, 13-10. Columbus with more. Giveaways tied at 19 apiece. That's a lot. Takeaways 6-4. Islanders with 2 more.
Yeah, the puck management was not great. Although I said this, I think last year, maybe 2 years ago, it feels like they've changed the scoring in terms of what counts as a giveaway. Maybe they're being more accurate as from what they were doing in previous years. It just feels like over the last 2 years, those numbers are higher. We're rarely seeing single digits. Maybe it's because we're only focused on the Islanders and their dog shit in terms of puck management. But
no, these numbers have definitely been inflated the last couple of years. It used to be like if you got 9 in a game, it would be a lot, but it's very rare to see it in single digits nowadays.
Yeah. It's good. More accurate. Let's go.
All right. Who leads the team in ice time for forwards?
Bo Horvat.
Mitch by a lot. 20 minutes and 28 seconds for Bo Horvat. Next closest, JG Pajot at 16:48. Bo Horvat's been freaking awesome, man.
He really has. He absolutely has. They have Matthew Barzal playing on the wing. Thank God they finally started listening to me. That Matthew Barzal is not a center. He is a winger in this league. And that's not a knock. Like, Matthew Barzal grew up watching Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane is one of the better wingers to play in our era. Just let him do his thing on the wing. Take away the defensive responsibilities. Take away his 30% face-off win percentage. Put him on the wing. He's so much better there. Way more effective, as we saw today.
Who has the least?
Oh, it's going to be a fourth liner. Did Kyle McLean play?
Good guess. The fourth line, all 3 of them were at the bottom, but it was Anthony Duclair at 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, he was fine today, but
yeah, he was okay. The fourth line, I thought played better tonight than they probably have all year, just about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe they just need better players in the fourth line, I guess, which is a shame to the guys who aren't there.
Yeah, it's not that long ago that Martin, Zizekas, Clutterbuck were, owning that fourth line for a decade, but clearly not the same unit that they're running out there. Did want to mention, Mitch, before we get to defenseman, Cal Ritchie, 13:56, so a little bit less than what he played in his debut with the Islanders, but we've gotten a lot of comments on it and big talking point. What did you think of Cal Ritchie tonight?
A-okay.
Yeah.
Great. And I went A-okay, great, and fantastic. Fine. It didn't really. There's that one play where he goes through the legs to get around the guy and then throws it to the slot and almost gets Jonathan Drouin right on the stick. So you're seeing defensive responsibility from Ritchie, and then you're seeing skills. Holy shit, let's go. Game number 2 for us, but game number 9 over his entire NHL career, I believe.
Yeah, 9 or 10.
7 for Colorado, right?
It might have been the 9. He might have gotten the full 9. So it's roughly game 10 of his NHL career. I thought he was solid. I wouldn't say he was amazing. He definitely doesn't look out of place, which is a good thing. There's opportunities in the offensive zone that he's getting, which I like. They didn't have a ton of power play, so I feel like we didn't really get to see him at his best. I thought he looked really good on the power play the other night when he made his debut against Washington. But I thought he was fine. No complaints out of me for Cal Ritchie. He should stay.
Absolutely, he should stay 100%. Then that allows us to keep Barzal with Bo Horvat, and that's the huge win that we cannot look over.
How about defense, Mitch?
I know it's not Schaefer because they said it on the broadcast, but I don't remember who they.
It's a surprise. I'll give you that. I wouldn't have guessed this person.
Adam Pelech.
He's second by 4 seconds, so that's a really good guess.
Okay.
It was Alex Romanov at 21:38.
Oh. See, I was going to go with Romy. I'm looking at Pat Henley's comment, and I see Schaefer makes Romanov, and I'm like, it's probably going to be Romy. And then you threw me off with that. I went with Pelech, but
sorry,
Romy was fine. I don't think he deserved the penalty he got. Maybe I'm too much.
No, I didn't think so. I didn't think so either. That was a little bit of a softer call. And 3 games since he's been back from the injury? I think he's looked more like his usual self over the last 3 than how he looked before the injury.
Yeah, he looked good the last game, really good. He looked okay today, but he didn't need to look better than he usually is. So that's a testament to the rest of the team. I think the rest of the team played really well today.
The least.
Tony DeAngelo.
He was 5th. Pretty good guess. Matthew Schaefer, 17:24. But 2 points, another multi-point game in just 17-24. Listen, I don't think he has to play 26 minutes a night. His ice time is going to fluctuate. He's probably going to average out somewhere around 22 minutes, which is top pair minutes for anybody. But I don't think you have to run him 26. And the game didn't really dictate it.
No, exactly. We also have to remember that this kid only turned 18 like 2 months ago, and he only played 17 games in total last year. We have to ease him into it. And so, as people had said before, like playing 26 minutes a night was not going to be sustainable for this guy, and it's not. So that's great. Let's play him 17 minutes a night, and he's still effective. He still scored 2 goals. So absolutely, you play him when you need to play him. You know, Scotty and Romanov were out there quite a bit together, and that was an okay pairing. As long as your guys can hold their own, which it seems that they've been able to do last little bit. And by your guys, I mean the other 5 defensemen. We should be okay to not have to play him 26 minutes. So good. I want to praise the other 5 defensemen out there for their play because that enabled it.
100%. One of the better defensive games that they've played all year. And there haven't been many. They've given up a lot of goals so far this year, but all 6 of them, I thought, played well.
Yeah, absolutely. So good job, defensive core there.
As for David Ritchie, I thought he was solid. 20-22, 2 goals against, .909 save percentage. That's exactly what I want to see from a backup goalie.
Yep. He wasn't fantastic. He wasn't bad. He got lucky a couple of times. There's that one, like a 2-on-1, and Ritchie was the only one back.
Okay, yeah.
And he goes down in the butterfly early, and you're like, oh, shit. All I could see was the top of the net. And that's what, was it Boone Jenner? I don't think it was Boone Jenner. I don't think he's even playing anymore. He is. Yeah, he got an assist. It was Boone Jenner, and he skies it. I was thank friggin' God, because the entire top of the net was available.
Yeah, there was one, that might have been the same one that you're talking about, but there was one that was put off a crossbar too, that they went high on. I don't remember. It could have been, that could have also been Boone Jenner, if we're being honest.
Yeah. So like, not fantastic. He didn't steal the show, but he didn't need to. And it's exactly what you're saying. Like, just do what you're supposed to do. Give us above 900, as high as you can get above 900, and we'll do the rest. And that's what happened today. Beautiful.
Let's do some comments, Mitch, before we hop out of here.
Yeah, because we got quite a few there. So let's try to run through these a little bit if we can. The Doge saying, what did I witness? Madness.
Yeah, the madness. Just absolute insanity for 60 minutes, just about. Yeah. Really, the last 3 was pretty nuts, but for the whole game.
Yeah, Chris from Long Island, not sure the Isles are going to make the playoffs, but the future is looking good.
That's true. I don't know if they're a playoff team. Yeah. I think who said it before that they're hover around 500. That's basically where I've been since the offseason. They could be a little above, a little below. I think it'll fluctuate throughout the year, but so far they've played to about my expectation.
Yeah. Gary, who didn't really have a good ending to his day yesterday. Gary, I'm sorry.
Gary,
about those Jays.
Dude, man, I stayed up to midnight watching that game. That was nuts. An incredible game 7. Sorry about your Blue Jays, man.
Yeah. Schaefer was the best defenseman and played the least. Roy got lucky. He's not coached well this year or last. Holmstrom is a stud, he adds. What do you think about that comment specifically regarding Roy's coaching abilities?
I didn't necessarily think that this game, like, you needed 25 minutes from Matthew Schaefer tonight. I'm not the biggest Patrick Roy fan, but I don't think this game, even if they lost it, I don't think this is one that I would have put on Patty.
No, fair. I'm with UL. I didn't even say the name. UL Gelman saying here, like, no, that wasn't. No, I'm on the wrong one. That's the next one I want to bring up. Sorry, UL. It was Gary. I'm not a Roy truther, and he has to be my head coach, but I'm right there kind of with, I like some of the things he does. I like the philosophy that he has, but I think when it comes to the X's and O's and enacting that philosophy, I don't think he's got it down path 100% just yet. And that's where we're seeing some of the things, the ups and downs, right? Like, I've got my idea of how I want to play, but I haven't really kind of put it down well on paper or communicated it well, perhaps. And that's maybe where we're at right now.
And I think we start to get into the chicken or the egg debate with, do they have the horses, or is this Patrick Roy? You know, so the jury could still very well be out, which I'm not sitting here saying that Patrick Roy has to be fired tomorrow. I'm just not like all the way sold on him, and kind of, I guess we'll see how the rest of this year plays out.
Yeah. To UL, who says, I don't have any right to complain this game, but was it just me or were the penalty calls really soft, especially the Duclair call?
Yeah, I mean, I think we mentioned even the Romanov one when we went through. They had four power play opportunities. So, like, yeah, I think at least a couple of them were questionable.
Yeah, I agree. The Duclair one was soft AF. They called hooking. There was no hook there, at least that I could see. And there were so many interference calls done by Columbus. They finally called one in the end, and you're like, okay, well, fine, I suppose. It kind of helped in a way, but you're going, you missed way too many at this point, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
From Dixon here saying it should have been 4-0 Isles going into the third, which kind of mimics what you had texted me going into the third period as well.
Yep, 100%. This game should not have been close today. They should have buried them in the first period. It should have been 2-3-0 after the first.
Yeah. Four of a kind 22B says Cal Ritchie needs to stay in the NHL. And I'm just bringing that one up because I see other people who have already shared their comments saying kind of the same thing, like or asking us what we thought of Ritchie.
Yeah, I definitely think he deserves to stay. Similar to Bo Horvat in the beginning of the year, I was like, give it a minute. I think the goals are going to come. I'm going to say it with, and I get it, Cal Ritchie is significantly younger and is trying to find his footing in the league, but I'm going to say give it a minute. I think there's signs of him figuring it out, and I think the points are going to start to come.
Yeah, agreed. From Chris El Rio saying that lead line has been very impressive. And you're very right.
Hell yeah, it has been.
Yeah, just trade stocks through the roof.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to enjoy that line while it's here, right? Because like that is, I love scoring, and like the top line players are a lot of fun. But I also like when you have good depth, which is why I was such a big fan of the JG Peugeot trade when they made it. He was my favorite third line center in the league at the time, and then we've got to enjoy him the last 5 years. But Lee, at this point in his career, Peugeot, because this is what he's always been, and Simon Holmstrom is a really, really good third line.
Yeah, man. It's just dominating out there. And 2/3 of it could be gone at the end of this year. Might be gone. At least a third of it, but like
I think pretty safe bet that a third of it is, and a decent chance that 2 out of the 3.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's something from Nick Canetta saying, man, at least this team is fun again. Hate to say it, but they still need to capitalize on returns for Lee and Jean-Gabriel and Peugeot.
I mean, people are going to want players like this. How many points? So Peugeot and Lee both picked up a point tonight. So that puts them at, I wanted to look up for Lee, that's 9 in 12 games. And for Peugeot, that is 7 in 12 games.
Like, and it's not even just the production as much as absolutely that's the easiest number to find. And you're 100% right for bringing that shit up because you're at over half a point a game for Peugeot and at like what 0.8 points per game for Lee. Like that's just stupid. But it's their defensive play, their two-way play. They're just so goddamn dominant. And
for Peugeot, that's why every single post game we do, I'm always scrolling and saying, all right, what's the face-off percentage? Because I know, I'm sorry for those at home, I sound like a broken record. I say it every show. Teams look for depth players and third line centers who win face-offs and can give you production. And that's exactly what JG Peugeot does.
Absolutely. I want to highlight 2 messages here. One from George Fish. They are related. One from George Fish, who's saying, seems like Schaefer's minutes been down on purpose last few games and not just because of PK. Yes, he's made some mistakes, but still our best D-man. Hope Roy isn't trying to send a message. And then Heathen Hawk points out Roy is probably managing his minutes. Kid has never played a schedule like this with the physicality.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, honestly. They're kind of like, what's the NBA term? I was going to say clock management, but that's not what it is. You know exactly what I mean.
Load management.
Load management. There we go. Yeah. Load managing him right now.
It's exactly what it is. And he talked about kind of doing that at the beginning of the year, right? Saying, like, we're going to do what we did with Nathan McKinnon. Kind of what we did with Nathan McKinnon in his rookie year. And they have to. You can't be playing this kid 26 minutes. I don't think it's sending a message. I think they're telling this kid, just go and have fun. You're going to make mistakes, but learn from them. We're okay. The expectation is not just on him, just go and have fun, but even for the team, it's an evaluation year. whatever, man. If we can't get to the playoffs because we made a couple of mistakes over the year because of our 18-year-old first overall pick, whatever. We'll learn to live with that because he's going to be here for 15 more years.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah. So it's totally fine. To Avi, who says, my boy, the Swedish sniper, making me feel really good about that dissertation I wrote to you guys over the summer. Let's go Islanders.
As you freaking should, dude. As you should.
Yeah. For all of you who may not know, some of you aren't patrons, but Avi is one of the patrons there. And for every one of our podcasts, we ask you to submit some questions, things you want us to consider, things you want us to think about. And he wrote, as he says here, a dissertation. It was War and Peace on why Simon Holmstrom needs to be playing in the top 6. And it convinced me. It made me more of a believer than I was before. But that's the kind of content you get from us on Patreon. It's not just us talking for 45 minutes. It's half an hour of talking and then half an hour of what do you guys have to say? And let's hear what you have going on and what we could bring to light from your side of things.
Yep.
We got from Connor Friedman saying, I was at the game today. That was definitely the most electric UBS has ever been. Unbelievable. Ever been. That's saying something.
I wasn't in the building, so I don't know. It came through on the TV. It definitely came through on the TV.
Yeah, exactly. So that's dope. It didn't even seem like the barn was that full either, which, 5 o'clock start on a
Sunday is kind of a weird time.
Yeah.
At least in the lower bowl, there were portions where it looked like there was a decent crowd, but you're right.
Yeah, exactly. From Left Lock, was hoping for Barzy to work out on his own line, but these lines just felt natural with Bo and Barzy back together.
I do like those two together. I know that you've really been the one leading the horse, leading the narrative on that one for sure. But with the emergence of Cal Ritchie and assuming he can play second line center immediately, that really changes a lot for you.
Yeah. And piggybacking off that, Kyle Harrington says, if Callum stays in, who comes out? Does Shabanov stay out, or who gets replaced when Shabanov comes back?
I would think McLean. Anyone on that fourth line, McLean, Duclair, Zizekas.
Any one of those can go. Just none of them are really kind of pulling their weight. That fourth line is invisible, and doesn't mean they need to be putting up a bunch of production. They had one good shift in the third period where they're keeping the puck in the offensive zone and really getting on the forecheck, but largely just anonymous on that fourth line. So shakeup needs to happen there. And if you can get in a guy like, with Shabanov, then that's excellent because he can open up a little bit more ice for you there, even if it's not on the fourth line.
Agree. I think he's just got to get healthy. He's skating, but I don't think he's close yet, according to some of the reports.
Yeah. So hopefully that's coming soon. Back to Gary says, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah. Leave a like, baby.
Absolutely. Ryan Paulson, our buddy, says, got to disagree that Roy and Desrosiers have been bad. We're seeing a massive system change, focusing on speed and offense, and we're starting to see it work. I hope that's the case, that we're in that like the middle part of Moneyball, where like for a while it just didn't work, and then now it's starting to click.
Yeah, and I do think it needs more time, which again is not why I'm saying fire Patrick Waugh today. That's not my stance. My stance is I want to see how it continues to work. If they have the same, not from today, but if they have the same defensive issues that they've had throughout the early parts of the season, throughout the rest of the year, that's a little bit of a red flag. I know they still need to add more, like Tony DeAngelo's not a long-term piece, Pelech Polak regressing, the whole thing. I get that, but you have Romanov, who's going to be a piece for a while. You have Schaefer, who's going to be a piece for a while. You have Mayfield, who's going to be here probably, like it or not. And it depends on some of the other guys who could be rotating in and out, whether it's the Warrens or Isaiah George or Boquist, whatever. I understand that they need more pieces on the blue line. I just want to see a little bit more consistency from him before I'm definitively saying like, yeah, I think he's the guy and he should be here for the next like 3 or 4 years. I'm not there yet.
Yeah. Agree. Spoingus Doingus says, what a win, gentlemen. Feels like the universe making up for last year's BS goalie interference call.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that until Spoingus Doingus brought it back up.
Good pull. Good pull. Ray Donato says, for years I've watched other fast, exciting teams and wish the Isles could play like that. I feel like it's finally here. Work to be done, but still.
Yeah, I mean, now this isn't even including today, but you have like Bo Horvat's over a point per game. Matthew Barzal had 9 points going into today. You had Schaefer and Lee and Palmieri with 8 points going into today. And, Schaefer added 2 more and Lee picked up another one and Horvat picked up another assist. So like they're scoring. They went into today middle of the pack in goals for.
Perfect. Take it, man. I'll take it for sure.
And 20th in goals against. That's trending in the right direction after, they were much closer to the bottom at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, exactly. James Farrell's coming in here saying, did you hear Jean-Gabriel Pageau or JG trade rumors to the Canucks? Your thoughts? I didn't hear anything.
I did not.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, I think we're going to see a bunch of JG trade rumors. My question for you, Mitch, is I'm sure you're typing right now, is do they have a first round pick this year?
I'm worried about, can we get Atoratu back?
I don't really care about that.
They
I'm
do
not
have a first round pick this year.
Okay.
So that's dope. I haven't seen any of the rumors. So if you can give us like a link to, as long as it's not like as much as I was, a fan-sided writer. Okay, no, there it is. It's Canucks Daily, I guess. Trade proposal has Jean-Gabriel Pageau. Yeah, I don't see the Canucks get Jean-Gabriel Pageau. We get a 2026 second round pick, Terry Bluger, and Archdeep Baines. Archdeep Baines, I think, is a decent prospect, is he not? But that package already doesn't sound great.
No, you need a first round pick back for JG Pageau at this point.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this Archdeep Baines guy. He's a prospect, though, I thought. But I can't scroll through everything there. So, yeah, I don't know. Just looking at it doesn't sound great.
No.
So, no thanks. Final one here from Anti-Censorship Society says, wow, holy Calder Batman. I wonder who he's talking about. Callum Ritchie, clearly.
Yeah, clearly Callum Ritchie. Now, Matthew Schaefer is awesome. It has been an absolute treat to watch him through 11 games so far and many, many more, hopefully.
Yeah. So, God, he leads all defensemen, including rookies, in goal scoring. I can only imagine how he leads all the rookies in scoring. If I could find it here, NHL, come on now. Rookies, apply filter. He is co-leading rookies for scoring with Ivan Demidov. Both of them have 10 points in 10 games. Schaefer has more goals, though.
Okay.
I love it. 5 and 5 for Schaefer. That's Calder right there. I'm sorry. It's
Hell
Calder.
yeah.
It's his. Love it.
We're riding the train. Guys,
let's go.
Thank you so much for hanging out for another post-game show. Before you head out of here, and please make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, check out the Patreon. You get 2 long-form podcasts a week, as well as a Discord channel filled with Islanders fans, always popping on game day. And you get the audio version of the post-game show. So if you're like a commuter and want to listen in the car, well, there you go. You get the audio from the post-game shows as well over on Discord. So that'll do it. I'm Matt O'Leary. He is Mitch Anderson, and we'll catch you next time.